Curbing Student Debt. I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. What's happening, everybody? Let's get right down to the nitty-gritty of this story. According to the Wall Street Journal, Biden provides $9 billion in forgiveness for 125,000 borrowers as loan payments resume. President Biden announced student debt forgiveness for another tranche of Americans on Wednesday, months after the Supreme Court blocked the administration's most ambitious borrower relief program. The string of politically advantageous announcements comes thanks to the administration's use of existing programs that allow the government to waive debt for certain borrowers. The moves are separate from the administration's troubled attempt to cancel as much as $20,000 in student debt for any borrower who earns less than $125,000 a year. The Supreme Court struck down that executive action in June. Biden laid out his objective in remarks promoting the latest forgiveness on Wednesday. Bring student relief to as many as we can, as fast as we can. Wednesday's announcement of $9 billion in student debt cancellation for 125,000 borrowers, the latest in a string of sizable discharges, helps just a small slice of more than 40 million who hold debt. The current batch targets borrowers who were enrolled in public service and income-based low repayment programs and borrowers with disabilities. It follows a decision in July that wiped out the remaining balances for 800,000 lower-income borrowers as part of a one-time adjustment to loan repayment claims. The administration is touting those cancellations on the same week most borrowers returned to making payments for the first time since they were paused in March 2020 as part of COVID-19 pandemic relief. Since taking office, the Biden administration has made changes to the long-standing programs that allow borrowers of various profiles, including lower-income people and those who work in public service jobs, and those who work in public service jobs to pay just a portion of their overall debt over an extended period in return for eventual forgiveness. The administration says that the execution of those programs, which has existed for decades, has been a failure, with most of the borrowers not receiving the relief to which the programs entitled them. Republicans argue that the administration doesn't have the legal authority to make these broad-based adjustments, akin to what they attempted to do with mass forgiveness. This is part of a pattern of the Biden administration illegally acting without congressional approval, costing the American people hundreds of billions of dollars, said Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, the top Republican on the Senate Health and Education Committee. The piecemeal approach to debt cancellation has added up, including Wednesday's canceled loans. The administration has now wiped out $127 billion in student debt, nearly one-third for the projected cost of the failed mass cancellation plan. Borrowers also saved the equivalent of hundreds of billions of dollars on loan payments during the more than 3-year pause on loan payments, an interest accrual that ran from the start of the pandemic until September. About half of the borrowers included in Wednesday's announcements made payments as part of income-driven repayment programs for 20 years or more, but didn't receive relief because the federally run student loan system failed to keep accurate track of their payments, the Education Department said. Income-driven plans for federal student debt tie monthly payments to a borrower's family size and income and forgive any remaining balances after 20 or 25 years of payments, along with those backward-looking fixes. The administration has also made the programs significantly more generous by requiring smaller payments and special benefits to those with small debt loads. Separately, the Education Department is making another attempt at mass relief by using a more circumscribed regulatory process. Rulemaking hearings at the department begin next week, with a committee of stakeholders including borrowers and loan servicing companies. That plan is also expected to face a challenge in the court. I'm Tyrone Bowman. Never surrender, never quit.